with that being said, everybody, welcome to my self-indulgent nature of Yuri. With today's game, Our Life Now and Forever, where the only thing I know about it is that Yuri. That's it. That all you need if you want me to play your game, just say Yuri. Hands dusted in. I'm already handing you the cast, fan over fist. With that being said, I'm gonna shut up. Let's get into it. It doesn't have. Oh, wait. Welcome to Our Life Now and Forever. Step 1, 10 years old. Step 2, 14 years old. Step 3, 18 years old. Step 4, 22 years old. Our life is a gameplay divided into steps, which you take place at different ages in your character's life. There are 4 years between each step. Step 1 is where the game begins. Starts at 10 years old. Step 2 at 14. Step 2 at 18. Step 3 at 18. And the epilogue. Step 4 at 22. At the start of each step, you can customize your character by choosing their appearance, name, gender, pronouns, and other information. Almost everything can be changed from start, new step. Our life is played from the first person perspective, so you won't see an image of your character next to each other characters. However, the character you create will be shown as an icon in the dialogue boxes across the UI. Oh, that's cool. And your appearance will be referenced in-game. This demo currently includes steps 1 and 2 only. So this is half the game. This is the first half of Yuri. So I'm 100% down with it. All you gotta do is tell me Yuri, and I'm like 100%. Hell yeah, dude. Give me more. I want Yuri. I need all the Yuri I can ever get. If anyone has good Yuri recommendations, I will 100% take it. I love those eyes. Hair? That's a lot of hair. Not a lot of eyes, that's a lot of hair. Ooh, what hair do I like? What hair do I like? Do you have wolf cut? I'm a sucker for fucking wolf cut. Ooh, I love that. I love that too. Ooh, I love that. I could have drills. Ooh. Ooh, I love me a good partial eye cover. Ooh, I love me a good partial eye cover. Look, if anybody at all ever, I could add hair front, hair back, hair front, hair back. Have you, and then, no, wait, can I get my good hair? You're that. What do I want? Honestly, that's kind of rocking. If you got this hair color, my DMs are hair color. You got this hairstyle, DMs always open. Hairstyle DMs open. Contact me. Anything drag back. I'm open. Please. You will have all of the power. All of the power. Full send. But I'm loving this right now. I should probably stop saying it against 10-year-old. Ooh. Oh, I got little frillies. Hell yeah. I love them. Special layers. Special clothing. At certain points in the story, you may want to dress your character in special clothing that reflects your cultural heritage. Oh. What cultural heritage should we have in a fake game? More clothing options, as well as information on the currently available options, will be added in the future. Keep an eye out for updates. Oh, okay. Special. Oh, these are dope. These are dope. I don't see any for white, so I'll pick the one that looks dope. Oh, and then these are other ones, right? So neck layer overs. I don't need a neck layer over. Head accessories. Can I have... How does the bow look? Whoop. I kind of like that. It's weird, but it's me. I like that. As a glasses wearer, I don't wear glasses. I just created a Demon Slayer character. Come on, Drac. Come on. Gotta give me a scar now. None of those. What are you actually? I'll have a hidden scar wherever that is. And let's just have you. Birthmarks. I'm creating a Demon Slayer character, man. How the freak am I creating a Demon Slayer character? How? You. Oh no, wait. Those are freckles. I thought for someone I had like sores and stuff. There we go. Dominant hand, right hand. Let's go tall. We're tall. Body type. Yeah, let's go medium. I am a Japanese size small, so that's everything medium. Custom, sure, let's go with that. Gender, yeah, sure, go with that. Sure, let's go with that. Honorific? Mix. Frankie second. Oh, MX, because we're being non-binary. Madam? Madam? I could be madame. No, I'll stay with MX. I'll stay with MX. How do you like people to refer to you? Masculine leaning, feminine leaning, neutral leaning. I kind of don't care. Honestly, if you want to refer to me, just be consistent and you're perfectly fine. In our life, now and forever, your character has a biological mother. She has three hair textures and 6 skin tones. You can look over similar or different from your character you easily like. While her hair and skin might remain consistent throughout the rest of the game, you can choose a new title and or name for her in the beginning of every step. You can also set your hair and eye color to match hers and any special tint from the color palette and adjusting her hair to match eye color. Matching hair and eye color to make you may acknowledge in-game in times. This is my mom, so my mom is here, or my mom. Kind of like mom hair. Mom here, mama, mother, mom. Let's go with mommy. She's being mommy. Being mommy. Choose a sticker. I like coffee. I like coffee. Look, anyone who can call me out on coffee, I love me some coffee. You, a visual novel style layout for icons. Oh, wait, you? Oh. You, a comic book style of your guy. No, I like this one. You, a comic book style layout with icons. You, a comic book style layout with icons. I'll take this one. I'll take that one. It looked like fall Garden Grove. More than many people at places seen before. It could be seen as one picture books show a little kid. It could be seen as one from picture books you showed to little kids. What autumn was supposed to be. There weren't any green trees or bushes, but there weren't really bare branches yet. It was almost the same as normal, and all that had changed were the colors red, orange, yellow, and brown. Even the blue in the sky above, overhead, seems different than just the normal summer. It wasn't bright either, and as though it was gotten tired, it was sparkling late last year. Or it was even further away from where you were when you were in this place. Plants and sky didn't get this way where you lived. Wait, the plants and sky didn't get this way the where you lived. Oh, because we're from somewhere else. I have dyslexia if you haven't noticed. Horrid dyslexia. Now, I know I could go and I could fix that by redoing it all over again, but that's not happening. That's not happening. That's not happening. I am not gonna go and replay all of the beginning again. It's been 10 minutes on the screen. It's been 10 minutes on the home screen. I should, but I'm not. And if you made it through that, way to go. The plants in the sky didn't get this way where you lived. Where you used to live. Is it updated? Is it updated? I think it updated. Your thoughts continue to jump around while you stood there in a big circle in the street, just at the end of the road. It's called a cul-de-sac for anyone who doesn't know. It was weird, the path. It was a weird path to you. It couldn't take you anywhere ahead, in the sides and streets anywhere. Or anywhere else, like most streets you've grown up. There's only one. This one only came right here, in a big lagoon with the big houses. The view in front of you was something you only ever seen from photos. Before you even stapled together. From stapled together. Papers. Before stapled together papers that advertised the middle house being sold. Oh, so we're in the middle house. It kind of seems like a cop-out, because I always love these, like, rounded front houses, like the one on the left. I've always loved those, more than, like, typical kind of houses. It had been a picture book. See you until this day. You know that it felt fall here, too. Yeah, that was right. Because it was also cold outside. Chilly enough to sometimes hold your eyes closed for a few seconds, longer than usual. To keep your eyeballs from being like they were freezing on the inside of your head. This is a real place. The icy air surrounding you said. Wait. It was a real place, the icy air around you said. Oh, it was a weird pacing for that. And you're really into it. It was where you're going to stay. That was new. Your mommy, I hate saying that now, and you had lived in the apartments before, and that were for a long time. And Yeah, and never for a long time each time. That was until she got in a big job. Big job in this not so big town. Bought a big house for you. Well, you wouldn't be going anywhere else for a long time. Now in that moment, imagine being there forever. I should probably stop looking through the capture now, so I'm gonna go look and hopefully read better from looking at the actual screen. But this was just the way it was. The old tan house at the very end of the long round road was now your house, standing tall with two elders by its sides. Those buildings were homes too, and their own people living inside. Those people in those ancient homes are gonna be your neighbors. Throughout our life, you can make many choices that shape your character's personality and relationships to other people around them. And other characters may remember and bring up information they learned to your letter. Ooh, choices that matter, hell yeah. In our life, there is no right or wrong answers. You can choose to be quiet or angry, to reject invitations, or to dislike other characters, and their choices will affect your narrative. But there are no bad endings in our life, because lives don't end with bad endings, they just end. Your opinions and the overall personality can be shifted from over time, so you can choose to play as somebody who is closed off at 10 years old, but opens up as they get older, or vice versa. Their story is yours to tell. Okay, I love that. It's a lot different than the other part of this game. It seems okay to you. You felt like you mixed up inside. You're super excited at everything happening. You were mad. There wasn't much left for you felt about that. It all made you so sad. You felt scared. There would really be something to you thought. Wait, this would really be something you thought? How much worse could it be more than it was like before? Coming here had given you hope. Maybe for the future will be good. Yeah, sure, let's go with that one. Let's be an optimistico child though. It seems even better because you've been doing so with mommy. Okay. And it was good. And the good part, that was nice, since mommy was no fun. Mommy was fun. We're not gonna shit on our mom. Our mom was just here from forever ago. We know exactly what our mom looks like because the fucking recording wasn't recording. It was just a picture. No matter what, you keep looking at you for mommy. Hey, it was better because with this, you're with mommy. You have so much fun together. I'm just gonna do a no voice for a voice. Frankie, come on. Come on over and take a look. No, it was her mommy's voice. She hadn't noticed she had gotten so far. He wasted no time catching up in order to unite with her. Off the Col de Sac road, cutting across lanes of grass and sidewalk, you reached the picket fence and your mommy called you from. The gate was unlocked. Unlike the other houses in front of you, it was tiny. In front of you, yours was tiny. Gray stone walkway that led up to a couple of little steps, and those steps led to your door. You walked along the private path, making sure each foot landed squarely on the rock. Yeah, on the rock. Am I saying rock weird? I don't care. And not on one of the dirt rock, and not on one of the dirt cracks in between until you arrived at the end of the lane. Then you hopped onto the shiny stairs and you knew mommy. Man, I made my mom hot. And there your mom was, standing at the edge of the porch, arms folded and waiting. Must have been moving around before because the shiny opal earrings had been were twisted from side to side a little bit. You know they were real opal stones because she told you before, when she'd first gotten them. She told you that a long time ago that her normal name, not mommy, was Opal. Are you telling me a parent's name isn't parent enter here? Are you fucking crazy? Are you crazy? Are you telling me mom's name isn't mom? Get a load of this guy telling me my parent's name isn't parent enter here. Wild, I tell you. The clothes were colors of cloudy day with rain already coming on. The kind of day that could be cold or bad, or really relaxing and comfy. It depended. She wondered which way she looked at it from. You don't know. The rest of her, though, is much more bold, especially the matchmaking personality. Matching purpley cranberryness. Is that how cranberries is spelled? I don't like cranberries. Both her eyes and ears. I said hair, not ears. There weren't a lot of things out in the world that could color. In the world of that color that can feel gloomy. Everybody would always say would see the red in hair and come from her. The red in my hair came from her. That's some cool. Why did mommy end up in you? Let me smile at you. It made you feel soft and warm on the inside as your mommy was on the outside. What do you think? It's a pretty little place, huh? I've seen worse junk. We're not gonna diss on our house in this economy. In this economy, we're not dissing our house. Nod eagerly. You should look. You shook your head furiously. You refused to even look at her. It stinks, you said jokingly. It stinks, you said bluntly. I'm gonna have my own room, right? It's beautiful. You nodded eagerly. Your mouth stayed in the shape of a smile, but your eyes and eyebrows changed, bending in a way that made it seem like she was really smiling. Wait, like she wasn't really smiling, or was some kind of smile? She put her hand on her hand. She put her hand on the white painted pole that, oh God, kept things in the porch from the roof falling down. Her fingers moved along it. I should learn how to stop dyslexia. Won't be too much long. The real estate agent should be here from hand over the keys in a couple hours or so. Then it'll be official. It'll be the newest residence in Garden Grove. That's a Golden Grove, you dummy. You shifted your weight from one foot to the other. It was a big deal, your mommy. Her whole life was changing too. I hoped it wouldn't be a mistake. Didn't want your mommy to be sad. Well, you see the yard on the outside? You don't have to wait here the entire time. How about you go look around for the rest of the neighborhood? She bent down, placing her hands on her knees in order to speak to you directly. On the same level. It's a safe town, especially in this area. You should be able to pray freely on your own out here. You perked right up at the suggestion. You jumped happily. Your eyes went wide in fear. You grasped your pants, wanting to stay together. You huffed unhappily. I don't want to leave. You followed her. You merely shrugged. You don't need to say that it's okay. You don't need her to say it was okay. You could look out for yourself. Please, you aren't a baby. You could possibly go wrong. You turned your face away from her in defiance. You covered your face with your hands, not wanting to go. Just the neighborhood? That wasn't exciting. You wanted to go everywhere. Mommy went back to her normal way of standing. Her head held high and their arms forehead. You're not having fun. You're not having fun? I understand. If you stay here... if you're staying here, you could continue to not have fun. And if you leave, you also might still not have fun, but maybe you will. Might as well roll for some dice, huh? Just stay here and... Don't just stay into the streets, okay? Yes, Mommy. It's not fair. I won't, I promise. You don't care about the rules, but you keep that to yourself. You give a thumbs up. You go, I won't, I promise. Thank you. I trust you. With that, you spun on your heels, lifted your chin, and stomped down the stairs back towards the sidewalk. Step 1. Prologue. Where we're gonna meet our future girlfriend. I got so scared I had to look over to the preview again because I wasn't sure that the game was actually moving again. I got so scared. Your shoes really squished into the dirt path where you crossed from where you were down on the solid road. The smell of the grass and the rain softened ground, crisp through somehow. All of the kind of musty hung in the air, bringing a whole new year to the school with it. Oh, new school year! Hell yeah! You're in the 5th grader. You were going to be a 5th grader. It would be, which Drac cannot reach a level of. It would be completely different from the 4th grader, and not just because you were attending a new school. You're the highest grade of the place. Maybe that was with your mommy was so sure you could do this by yourself. You were growing up. But that thought didn't make you feel any better about it. And before you took one more step, there was a faint tap against her shoulder. It was barely stronger than the wind, but it was definitely something. And it was completely out of nowhere. Huh? You wondered who it was? You jumped straight into the air, out of shock. Both your fists went up defensively. You screamed. You rubbed your shoulder, feeling annoyed at whatever it was. It was a ghost, you deduced. Huh? You wonder who it was? You jumped straight up in the... Yo, we're a scaredy cat, Scooby-Doo style. We're jumping up straight up. And pure instinct, you hadn't even realized it happened until you were back on the ground. Rapidly, you pinging-ponging your gaze from left from right, trying to glimpse and poking pitter-patter. With a poking predator. No one was there. The neighborhood was empty. Except for you. You were settled on to being a mystery forever. You had noticed that there was a thing left behind from the encounter. Sitting there between the muddy brown blades of glass was something new. An airplane! Oh, so we could have absolutely just said it was a ghost, jumped and be like, ah, a ghost, and be completely right and just run home. That would have been wild. A paper airplane? Who would have thought? Who would throw this at a stranger? Why did they disappear after doing it? As you considered those questions, your gaze shifted back towards the right side of the street where the tap came from. Whoever sent this to you had gone away. Crouch down and grab it, keeping on the lookout to make sure that nothing else snuck up on you. The paper didn't seem crinkly crackly way most normal people did. What, does Noah's paper crinkly crackly? Does anyone know what she's going on about? I have no idea what she's going on about. It was thicker somehow, almost a piece of cloth. It was cottony. Oh, so like an artist's page. Oh, is one of the characters we're gonna meet like be artsy and they're gonna be like super shy and artsy, and that's how we get them to open up. They're like shy artsy, and we get shy artsy friend. That'd be cool because if you don't know, arts people have like thicker, more clothy like paper, rather than like rougher type paper for like various different ink forms they use, because it absorbs it different, or they're like drawing on it better, or it's just like as an aesthetic they have where it's a lot higher quality and a lot more expensive than normal paper. And I kind of with it, right? I appreciate that because they're like, yeah, I love this thing, so I'm gonna invest in it, even if it is just temporary. So I gotta let them play fame. I gotta let them have that. That was the only part that stood out. It was a tan color with the dark brown lines, not white and blue lines and black or something regular. More questions to add to the confusion. Where would a person like this have come from? You turned the paper airplane around, with hands squinted and your eyes keenly. There were pencil markings on the inside. The paper had scribbles, or even letters. There was enough of a sign to you'd undo the shape somehow, had put together. You pulled out the flaps of the plane and flattened it in between your palms the best you could. It was true. The paper airplane had a message. Well, maybe. There were some words on it, but not like there were any little different lines from each other. Read over every tiny part from top to bottom. Hello. Go out. Hide out. Go out. Hide out. They're being kind, so it's not a threat. So they probably want us to go to hideout. And then the bottom corner was Frankie II. Your name. It had been addressed to you personally. There was no mistake that you were the one to receive the plane. You scratched your face. A person wrote stuff on a piece of paper, turned it into a plane, threw it at another person. A message was sent. Was that? That was too weird for you. That was cool. Yo, this was a mystery worth solving. We are the Scooby-Doo people. I'm gonna pick the most Scooby-Doo answers from now on. Maybe the words were a code you had to break. I had to tell mommy right now. You're gonna get to the bottom of it. You were done exploring. It was time to get back to the house. Oh, you just wanted to get back to looking around. No. We're gonna solve this. Someone or something had to have sent this to you. You're going to stop until you found out who and why. Past the parts with the light where the light shone through the clouds and the parts were going to darker. You began your investigation by heading to the same direction the paper had hit you from. The half-circle houses was the sight at the time of the normal sidewalk ended. It was out of sight at the time of the normal sidewalk ended. And it really ended. Instead of connecting to another street and the homes and the stores, there was a car at the road behind you and a bunch of trees and playing ground in front. Going down the road would bring you back to the rest of the town eventually, but you were sure that you would be straying too far, like your mommy warned against. That was okay. You had other options. Bending in between the dark trunks and bright leaves were two lines shaped like thorough glass. They went in opposite directions. There was a crossroads. One led more towards where the neighborhood was, but back further, right to the edge of where your forest started. The other went completely into the trees, a walking path for the people who lived here. far from the people who lived here. You stood there. You stood there at the start, turning to the point of the woods, and your life. Feet poised to move over the staring thicket floor. You knew exactly which one you wanted, but you didn't know where you were going. You knew exactly which one you wanted. There was a path that was definitely more worth treading than the other. You were sure of it, seeing something on the inside of you told you so. You went left down a walking path on the left. You went along the tree line. You went down the walking path because it said we needed to go outside, right? So outside, it was outside something. Where is it? Load, save, preference, menu, info, skip, auto, log. Here we go. It said, what did it say? Past you was, you're going to the bottom of us. It was Mr. Self. You crumpled up a piece of paper. Frankie second, here we go. Hello, go out, hide out. In the bottom corner was Frankie second. You know what, we're going left. We're going deeper into the woods. Our mom said don't traverse far. We're going to traverse far. And your quest continued. Once you went through the foresty path, you had truly entered the wood, but you truly entered the wild woods. Nothing else surrounded you any longer. Nature spread across the land, the white narrow dirt line and fence, being the only sign anyone had walked the spot before you. People were only visitors here. Golden and red leaves gently rustled against each other in the thicket clumps, and each tree's branches flowing into the others nearby. It was enough to keep the sky and sun out almost completely, but the leaves burned bright, with light basking out from them above. The foot-made passage continued to twist around and heightened up the mountainside, further than you could see. You were amazed. We sort of, in real life, this would be awesome. This is so picturesque. Like, I know near my aunt and my godmother, they live close to each other in opposite directions. I know how odd that sounds, but they both have like areas that look like this 100%, where it's just, you have the humanity and you have the like parts of the thicket forest, and it's just a different thing. It's like literally going to the Bridge of Terabithia portal, but you're not at risk of dying or trying to be in a Catholic monogamous relationship with your teacher when you're like in grade 7, bonding over the death of your friend in the river because you neglected your friend to hang out with your teacher, hoping you were gonna bang, but you were in grade 7 and your teacher was like 30 something and was like just taking you to church. It's pretty much like that, just like good and not problematic. I preferred the neighborhood over the woods. It was dirty and icky. You feel uneasy. It was sort of nice. This was your kind of place. Your curiosity was piqued. It was so boring. It was a pretty creepy place. That was a creepy place. Awesome. You know what? That was a creepy place. Awesome. Because it had the word creepy, so Scooby-Doo. With your wide, wondrous gaze thrown every which way, let yourself fall deeper into the thicket. The quiet bumble that existed here in the forest, away from the town, popped out from the sudden, unnatural clatter. You stopped. It was whooshing, thumping, and stirring up the leaves, like something had crashed into them. You knew for sure that it wasn't the wind. It had to have been some animal, or a person. It came from right over there. You decided to just take a peek. You wandered through the bushes to find the source of the sound. You picked up a stick and threw it that way, just to see if something happened. Nah. You decided to just take a peek. You wandered through the bushes to find the source of the sound. We're going in, Shaggy and gang. You pulled up your socks and began your way through the path and through the overgrowth. You decided to keep your footing on the slanted, untamed ground. When you reached a really tree-cluttered spot, you grasped the branches and pushed them aside in order to open up enough space for you to get past. You move them some way, just don't open up. You move them the same way you'd open up a set of curtains, but it was a lot harder to do. The tiniest branches couldn't take the bend and snapped off from pressure. You could feel the splintery ends of the plants scratch a little at your face and clothes. Oh no, are our clothes gonna get torn? Yo, it's gonna suck. We're out here and our mom's gonna be so mad. We just got here and we're getting our clothes torn. We just moved, so we probably don't have a lot. And if we do have a lot, then a lot of it is gonna be in storage. So it's gonna be like super inconvenient to get any other new clothes. It looks picturesque as hell though. It wasn't as smooth an entrance as we hoped it would be. On the other side of the tree line, there were woods, but kind of empty part. There was a lot of open ground with no trees or bushes growing and a ton of leaves in the gathered in piles. Past the clearing, the trees were back and even more closely pressing together than even were the path. It was mysterious. There was nowhere easy to go. Nothing seemed out of place to you. Until... Hey! It's cute little friend! Hello! There was a shout from a new whirlwind of leaves rushing through the air. From the underneath one of the piles was a kid. Who was this person? That was all you thought. You couldn't look away from their eyes. They were really red. Those are really red eyes. I'd be slightly alarmed if a kid had that red eyes. Small TED talk. If your eyes are really, really red, go see a doctor. That might mean there might be something wrong. You might have a form of like albinoism. You'd have other signs, but you should have already seen a doctor. Or there's something else wrong. And I'm not talking pink eye. Go see a doctor with pink eye. But like, if your eyes are red, go see a doctor. That's not a natural color to have. You might also had just a friend who pulled a prank and just absolutely put contact lenses in your eyes before you woke up. So go see a doctor. Either way, go see a doctor. You don't want to touch your eyes when they needlessly. So have them do it. They had spooky hair, you noticed. That's not. You like the scarf they had on. There were leaves stuck in their hair, in clothes. They were the prettiest person you've ever seen. You know what? We're gonna simp for this friend. They're the prettiest person you've ever seen. You stared at them, and they looked right back at you, and everything they'd thrown into the air gently drifted back down. Hi, were you there this whole time? You scared me. Do you live out here? You're crazy. How did you know I was here? Were you waiting for me? Awesome. I thought I was gonna catch someone, but you got me. You begin to laugh. I don't think you're pretty. So pretty, you accidentally said out loud. You are pretty. Oh, do we be shy or do we about? You know what? We're gonna be Velma, and this is our Daphne. You're so pretty. You got the stranger giggling. No, you. Wait here. The jumping kid hopped again, but this time he was to get off the ground. They dashed in the opposite edge of the open space, leaves scattering behind them, dropping out of the clothes and bringing a kick up to the steps. You were already wondering what was going to happen next. From beyond one of the tall, crooked trees, the kid began throwing sticks and other plant pieces around. They were uncovering a hidden treasure, a big brown bag. They had to use both hands to lift up the pouch and get it over their head. The thick strap pulled tighter under the strain of the weight attached to it. The line of her mouth locked just as strained. That said, "Look, you idiots who can't read at the 5th grade level." The stranger huffed when they released the bag from their fingers, letting it rest completely across their shoulder. You heard stuff bumping around inside from a position from where you were. It was a really full pack. But it didn't slow the kid down. They ran back at full speed to meet you where you were. When they were in front of you, in your face, they gave you a wave and asked you a question. Hi, are you a girl too? No. You shook your head. I'm not a girl. No, why are you thinking about that? You ask. Oh, but I am a girl. But also I'm not a girl. I'm a whatever you call me, technically. I am technically whatever you call me. Confirm, Drac is whatever you call them. No, why would you think that? You asked curiously. No, why would you think something like that? You asked, feeling insulted. No, you shook your head. I'm not a girl. Why would you think that? You asked curiously. I don't know, you could have been one. But you're not? Okay. Okay, boys and stuff are just as good. What's the answer, right? I'm just a kid. K Kona, brother, you are 100% a kid. You don't need to worry about that shit anymore. Well, yeah, you don't need to worry about that stuff yet. Just be a kid. Just be a kid. I'm just a kid. People use they, them to talk to me. And then it was like all the clouds in the sky. Her head, you guessed. It was like all the clouds in the sky and her head, you guessed. It cleared away. All right. And all of a sudden, the leafy girl seemed to remember to introduce herself like most people do. I'm, Temeric. Temeric? Oh, instead of turmeric, you're Temeric? Oh, that's cute. Alright, that sounds nice. Really? Temeric is a weird name. Cool. You simply nodded. Wait. Isn't that a normal word and not a name? Temeric? That's a tree. Is Temeric a tree? Temeric, what does that mean? Temeric, you know what? Temeric, what does that mean? A Temeric is that a tree. I like it a lot. So what's your name? I'm Frankie. My name is Frankie Second. I'm Frankie Second. Nice to meet you. He handed over an old library card with your name on it. You let her look at it so we can play the shy, quiet person. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. It's kind of cool that they let you have the ability to like 100% be like, yeah, I'm the outgoing person. I'm the naggy person. I'm the mean person. I'm just a shy, like quiet person. Here's my info. I'm just gonna not talk. It's cute that they have that. It's cute. Not a lot of games have that in like in literally anything. As a kid who spent what 2 years of my life not talking, that's genuine good representation. I love that game. I love that game. I'm Frankie. I'm Frankie. I'm Frankie Second. Nice to meet you. Wow. Hi, Frankie. She greeted you with a single finger wave. A single finger wave. Oh, hey, Devin. How's it going? How's it going? With a single finger wave of her hand. As sweetly as you could have... Oh, fuck. As if she had always known each other, and she had done it 100 times. You finally entered, and you didn't say something sus when you come in. No, I was just talking about how I spent like 2 years of my life not talking as a child. If you consider that weird, then maybe. But no, we're playing Yuri game. Yuri game, yes please. So that's literally the first thing that I knew about this game, which is why I downloaded it. I didn't know literally anything other than that, other than you can have two girls kiss eventually. It's a love game about two girls. Well, two people, whoever you want them to be. Because you have an option to make the main character a male, female, or neither, which is kind of cool. Which is incredibly cool. It gives you lots of ways to style and characterize your character, both in dialogue and like in choice, which all matters apparently, which is really cool. Do you like it? Your name? Yeah, no, I don't know. Sometimes a little. You shrug vaguely. Oh, you shook your head against it. You nodded in agreement. It's all right, I guess. I mean, Frankie the Second does kind of sound weird, because who the f uses the second in today's day and age? Girl need love too? I know! It's a VN? Yes, it is a VN. Or are there other games? Oh, is there other gameplay? I don't know. I can go into a VN that has other gameplay if you want, but I wasn't expecting the first game that I was replaying to be an hour, so it took an hour. Because I was renting longer than it did, rather than the 20 minutes it should have been. And this is a demo, and I'm gonna play the first round of this. And this is honestly starting out to be like a pretty long demo. It's a pretty long demo. It's half the game, but it's a pretty long demo, and I'm loving it. So I'm gonna play half of the demo. And after that, I'm gonna try out another. I'm thinking it's an action like sim. No, you don't have to switch. You're just curious. It depends on where this chapter ends, because we're 10 right now, and after 10 we become 14. After 14 we become 18. After 18 we become 22. After 22 we become 26. After 26 we become 30. After 30, I can keep going. But this game has 4 stages, right? And the first 2 out. In between each stage is 4 years pass. So that's where I want to get. I want to do some of this now. I want to do some of it later, because it seems like it's getting longer, right? And it has so much charm. I don't want to burn through it. So I'm just gonna go through a small leisurely pace, and then I have one more game planned if it does end early. So with that being said, it's all right, I guess. My game is now all right. Oh, whew, all right. Your ribbon is nice. Aw, thank you. Yeah, it's nice. Well, thanks, I guess. Oh, I like your hair tie too. You proudly reach up to straighten your ribbon on your head. My mommy gave it to me. You announced happily. My mommy made me wear it. You informed her flatly. You just looked down shyly. Yeah, it's nice. No, you think when somebody gives you a compliment, you give them a compliment back too. It's just common, courteous flirting as a child. You don't need to worry about flirting. I like your hair tie too. Does she have a tie? I don't think she has a tie anywhere. Did we lie to her? Did we start off this friendship with a lie? She has a scarf. Oh, thanks. Why are you here? Where'd you come from? Are you visiting? She piled on one question after the other, letting them bubble up and bubble it out from their laughter. I'm not some kind of tourist. My mommy and me moved here. My mommy and I. My mommy, if you take out my person and, it needs to be I. My mommy and I. Is it my mommy and I or my mommy and me? Because I was always taught, if you take out the other person, does it sound grammatically correct? Because you wouldn't say, me moved into this town. You would say, I moved into this town. Am I wrong? Anyway, I forgot to ask. I watched the stream. How is LASIK deafened? How is your eyes? How is your eyes from the robotic dimension that have now been healed to see the sight beyond sight? Kind of like Thundercats. It took me forever to remember Thundercats. Thundercats style. How is your eyesight beyond sight? Temric gasped. Her large eyes opening wide and wider. They're full of sparkles. Me too. I'm new too. I want to live with my Ami and Papa. What? I don't know what those are. They're in the house here, and I'm gonna be there too. Who are they? Are those your parents' names? Ami and Appa? You living with your grandparents? Heard them before. Ami and Appa is Grammy and Grandpa. I have no idea what you're saying. You listen quietly. Who are they? I have no idea what you're saying. Ami and Papa means Grammy and Grandpa. It's German. Oh, that's nice. Nifty. I have no idea what it is, and it's not like... I like to not live with my mommy. No. Wait, I have no idea what it would be to not like them. Oh, we can trauma dump with her. Are your parents dead? We are not saying that to a child. Why did you move in with them? Where are your parents? You don't have to say anything like that. Oh, all right. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah. I'm in 5 days and it's been really good. There's so much out here. I probably won't be finished for a long, long time. Months, maybe. This is the very first day in Golden Grove. Wow. You're barely different at all. We match. She furrowed her extra short eyebrows as much as she could. As a new idea came to her. Hey. I'm a girl and you're not, but we're both new, and what if we're the same age? I'm 10. I'm 10 too! You're 10, so am I! We are the same. We're brothers. Sisters, we're sisters, siblings. You nodded yes. You popped open all 10 fingers. You were the same age. You kept quiet. 10, so am I. We are the same. Hooray! Same age forever. Happily, Temric held onto the warm strap of her big brown bag and bounced up and down in place. You decided that it was the perfect time to talk to her about what's going on. Hey, I got hit with a paper airplane a little while ago. Was that you? Did you throw a paper airplane at me? You know anything about a paper airplane? Tell me the truth. Are you the airplane person? Oh, do you know what this is? You asked, pulling out the airplane page. Without a word, you pull out the one piece of paper. Hey, I got hit with a paper airplane. Was that you? Oh, yeah. You got it? Mm-hmm. I got it. That's for sure. Woohoo! She flung her arms open, her head in celebration, knocking her back onto the side. It made a thump noise when it swung back around her. My aim is good. You blinked at her in disbelief. You done it. You found a mystery person who made the strange paper airplane message. She was entertaining, you thought. You rubbed your eyes exhaustively. She was loud. It made you nervous. You couldn't believe the trouble she set off. You smiled at yourself shyly. She was so cute, she thought. Yeah, she was so cute. She was so cute. Thanks for sending it. How'd you know my name? The plane was really cool. No, straight up. How the fuck does she know our name? How does she know our name? How? How'd you do that? Yes, it is. You threw it. It was perfect. I want to compliment her. I want to compliment her aim because that's genuinely impressive with a paper airplane, especially in autumn with the wind. How do you know my name? You told me. No, before that. I don't know. I don't know before that. What was it supposed to mean? Huh? You thought you knew in disbelief a second ago, but hearing you made it feel like it was going, hearing that made you feel that it was, made you feel it in ways you've never had before. God, the stun looked on your face got Temeric to add more. The paper I used wasn't mine. It was a letter in the woods. I picked it up. Oh, I picked it up and put it in my bag because I couldn't leave it here on the ground. I love having dyslexia and having to reread a sentence over again because I'm messing up one word. I just realized we're 18 out of 21,830 lines of dialogue. We're 180 out of 21,830 lines of dialogue. Good Lord. I hope that's a correct counter. So our name was just randomly put on a piece of paper on the woods? Then why? How does that happen? So does that mean there's somebody else out here looking for me? Then when I saw you standing at the road, I just had the idea. I could do something fun with the garbage and by making it a paper airplane for you. So you didn't write anything on it? Yeah, I didn't. Oh, well, that part makes sense, but it's still confusing. What's the point of sending a paper airplane if you don't have a message? Why would you use a piece of paper that had stuff written on it for that? Are you kidding me? Then who wrote the note? Then who wrote the note? I don't know. That was all she said. Temeric couldn't tell you anything more. The person who wrote the strange message for you was a mystery. You hadn't found them even after meeting the paper airplane person. You shrugged and accepted it. You were thrilled that the mystery had deepened. Ah, the deeper the mystery goes. We gotta go for the mystery machine. Now you're more determined than ever to figure things out. You were thrilled that the mystery had deepened. And it was so much more exciting than you ever thought. You start thinking more and more about this, making plans in your head. Temeric could tell something was going on with you. Frankie, what did the paper say? Was it funny? You think random stuff is funny? In short, who says in short as a 10-year-old? Not me. It was short. Oh, dyslexia. And all the parts were on different lines. The words wrote, hello, go out, hide out, Frankie second. What? So weird. Who would write that? No! That's what I was thinking. It's strange. She took a big hop closer to you, smile growing across her face and landed. You seem to be growing. I'll come too. That paper wasn't very old. It hasn't gotten wet nor eaten by bugs, so if it had been there in the forest for a while, we could track down and then ask them where they were doing. Oh, you can come. I was going to ask that. Well, all right, if you really want to. I could use more eyes for looking. Thanks. I've been so scared to go along. There's something I need to do on my own. Sorry. I'm going by myself. No way. You have to stay here. You nodded in agreement. You shook your head and said, no. You can come. I was going to ask that. Woohoo! Temeric snatched up a nearby stick off the ground and directly pointed it at the end. The way where you come from. We're going to find that letterer who put weird things on paper. And so, you started to walk along the brown fall bush again. Now with a new paper in the now with a new partner in the adventure. Temeric came along from behind you with eager, stepping steps. She was right. You're going to find the note writer person who knew your name. Soon you reached the head of a path. You are the crossroad once more. But you brought back knowledge and this new girl with you. That's where we just were. You threw a thumb over your shoulder to where you were walking to show you which meant. And down here is just the road, but I haven't looked at the other way though. You switched your arm and bent backward straight across the forked passage, directing Temeric's gaze to the second dirt imprint. With her lips shut in a tight line, she nodded rapidly with seriousness. But only for a second. Then she got perky again. She was having so much fun pretending like she had fun and only pretending like she wasn't always so silly. Yeah, okay. Down the tree path for you and me. The decision easily made. You and her, crushing footsteps startled up again in unison. And still, your quest continued. The path ended, being kind of thick. You ran out of dirt to walk on after only a minute or two. and it became plain grass everywhere. Luckily, you only had to keep following the curved bend of brush in the tree trunks that separated the forest from the not forest to know where you were going, where you had planned to go. Temeric hummed happily. Horned a happy tune. I thought the comma was a different place. And not bothered by the changes in the ground at all. We made eye contact, and she started to speak words instead of music. It's good that we're looking this way. Walking down the road this way goes to town. We would have been, wait, what the fuck? Walking down the road that goes to the town would have been a bad idea. Do your Ami and Oppa have rules against that too? I don't know. Oh, then how come? Her eyes went wide. Whatever news she had to give must be something awful. Frankie, you have no idea because you just got here, but I've seen it. Town here is bad. The buildings were probably new when my Oppa and Oppa were 10. It's so dusty. Nobody's going anywhere, doing anything. They just live here in this place, sit around, do that forever. You never have fun here. She spoke gravely, giving the topic a moment of silence. After that, her spark came back, lighting up her features. But that's okay, since it's right next to here. Temeric hopped along, directing her stick to the tree lines at the sides. Everything in the forest is growing, or dying, or changing, no matter what. Look at one spot, you look at a different spot, and you look back at the spot and you'll see something new and you didn't even notice before. I love her. Her energy is so wild. I'll take those leaves out of your hair. You don't know if any of them have like little worms or gnats or something like that. Like if they were clean, then absolutely fine. But you don't know. You don't need to be taking that anywhere. Like please be careful in the bushes. There's a lot of dirt and stuff in there. He spread her arms cross up in front of her face playfully. It's magic. Wow, you're right. Then, as you strolled even further, something came into view. You almost didn't notice it first. Stretching about as high as the trees, he made up God, my eyes are so burning. Made out practically the same colored wood as the tower sort of thing. At the bottom of it was mostly empty space, with thin stick poles and corners, only one full wall. There was little fake rocks stood in boards on the wall side, probably for people to climb on. Above was an actual floor, with a slantly roof and railings around, some ropes dangling off of it in multiple places. The thought came to you that it had the same feeling as a treehouse, except it's not a tree. It wasn't a real house. You might have found a local playground. Why is a playground in the woods? A squealing whisper came right into your ear. Temeric had noticed the wood thing too. Let's go see it! She pulled away from the side of your hand to march to the tower without waiting for you to enter. Curiously, you moved closer until you were right in front. And that was where you came to the shocking realization that there was something up there at the top. I squinted, trying to see more clearly at the neck bent backward so far that your head might fall off. You could make out a lumpy pile. You just stood there, looking. You shouted out. You gave the base tower a swift kick. You gave the base of the tower a good shake with both hands. You grabbed onto the parts and shaking onto the trying to climb up there. Ooh, do we climb up or do we shake? You know what? We climb up. We're an adventurous fellow. We're climb up. Reaching one hand high and the other close to the anchor yourself, you grabbed hold of different fake rocks attached to the wall. You then situated one of your feet onto the lowest climbing point. You huffed and strained your arms to pull. Foot on the rock carried all your weight as you lifted the other into the air. It was tricky, but you got the second foot against the rock on its own and higher up than the first. You made it fully off the ground. Hello, somebody home? The sudden sound of clattering ruckus from outside the fort made you flinch in place. It was scrambling, though the noise you knew came from the moment. That lump stopped from being just a lump. It shot up, being right over the railing, peered down and saw you. Oh, hello! It was another kid. Whoa, who were they? That's with all you can wonder. You can look away from their eyes. They were really deep brown. They had a pointy hairline, you notice. What do you mean pointy hairline? They got some great ass bangs. I guess their bangs are to the sides. But either way. They look... You like the fluffy hooded coat they had on. You were wrong before. This person was the prettiest you'd ever seen. This is what the second prettiest person you've ever seen. You know what? This is the second prettiest person we've ever seen. Hands started to shake as you hold yourself against the wall. And to step back onto the grass, the person stared out. Your silent standoff surprise played on out between you and the stranger. Then, altogether, one half of her mouth, one half of the eyebrow, and the other with her hands shifted upwards. That lopsided pose they had, and the fact that they were on top of the tower made them seem pretty in charge here. Who are you? Why are you in my backyard? Oh, they were in charge here. I'm Frankie. I didn't know this was a backyard. I'm sorry. I couldn't tell. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm looking for something. Who are you? Hi, your backyard. There's no fence or anything. You're so pretty. You were too nervous to speak. You didn't want to have done. You shouldn't have done this. You had known. Your mouth opened and closed soundlessly. You couldn't explain yourself. You said absolutely nothing. I don't think you're pretty. So pretty, you accidentally said out loud. You know what? Let this be a lesson, everyone. If you're breaking and entering into a woman's house, into their backyard, and they look out the window and say, "What the f*** are you doing here?" You say, "Wow, you're so pretty." It works out for Adam Sandler, so it'll work out for us, right? The kid had taken aback for a second, clearly having not expected that. They stopped being confused and said they laughed. It was lightly sparkly. It was light and sparkly and honest. You know, I could say the same about you. After doing her own stooping, Tamarick skipped out from under the tower to join you in the stranger's eyeline. She didn't miss a beat, wanting to introduce herself to a new person. Hi, I'm Tamarick. Hey. At that, they presented palms and the hands against the railing. Pressed their palms and hands against the railing. You can read. They used it to stick their legs up over the sides and throw themselves off the fort. Did they just really fucking vault the thing? That's dope! Whoa! There was a powerful crash and gust of air against the person hit the ground. Ground just a little to the side of where you were. Landed their feet, crouching into a ball and making the hoof of their jacket flip up over their head from the impact of falling the set down. The person stayed like that for long enough that the leaves started to settle quietly onto the grass again. Then, the kids straightened themselves out and more poised than you could ever have expected. Square shoulders, chin up. With one hand, they pushed to the hood. With one hand, they pushed the hood down over their back again. They were confident and knew who showed it. That. Whoa. Why would you do that? That was so cool. That seemed dangerous. That was a dumb thing to do. Could I try jumping off there too? You could have crushed me. You were left speechless. It was impressive. Anyone could have done that. It wasn't special. I'm not going to be a hater. Why would you do that? Because it works. It works. But sticking a fork connected to a copper wire to power something into an outlet works. Just because it works doesn't mean it's safe to do. They took hold of an open sides of their jacket and flipped them out. Whoa, they're flaring the jacket, shaking off the bits and sticks, whatever other stuff that got onto them when they collided with the dirt. Anyway, they lift their head around the back, around to get their hair back over their shoulders the way it was before, and then jab their finger into their own chest. I'm Mr. Qui Lin. Qui and Lin. It means both Qui's arms spread openly, gesturing this wide world all around. Autumn! Nice to meet you. What are your whole names? Why are they asking for our full legal government names? Through chuckles, Tamarick placed a fake voice and put on a fake voice deeper than her normal one, and probably meant to sound mature. I'm Miss Tamarick Boothman. It's Tamarick is a tree. They introduced, got the thumbs up from Quinn. Cool, Miss Tamarick Budman. I'm Frankie. I'm Frankly the Second. Why would you say it? Why don't you say it so fancy? You don't say. You share your full name and title? You had to write that down in the dirt. Oh, wait, to share your full name untitled, you had to write that down in the dirt. No, we're not writing that in the dirt. But shouldn't the U come from... Wait, shouldn't the U come after the Q? I already know Q meant autumn. It's Chinese. I don't know. You're not Mr. You're a kid. Why did you come... Why'd you say it weird like that? I'm Frankie. Mix. You said the same thing I just said. Hey, yeah, no, as you did. But when it made sense to you. But while it did make sense to you, Quinlan was confused. And it was like you had been talking backwards to him. How did your doctor figure them out? How did your doctor figure that out? They have extra degrees? I figured it out myself. I'm not sure. You shouldn't ask that. The doctor, don't know. I had to say what it was myself when I could. Yo, I respect that. I respect that. He was like, I don't know about the doctor, but I chose this. That's cool. That's cool. I'm going with that one. It's a bunch of weird people make up. Really? You did that? You thought you were the doctors and adult said wasn't right and told everybody? Yeah, I did. At first grasping, a grin out across. At first gaping, a grin grew across his whole face. You got stuff figured out, huh? You're just a little kid like I am. You're right. I am smart. I don't know if I'd say I got everything figured out forever. Ooh. He looked away, not knowing sure what to say. Maybe it'll be different later. Ooh. You know what? Bam. What if it changes? It could change. Yeah, maybe. I'm impressed by your wisdom, next second. Wait, and also, how old are you two? We seem pretty similar to me. Me and them are the same age, 10. Kui slipped his fingerless gloves and hands against the front of his chest and show he was just how taken aback he was. Whoa, so am I. Nobody else could come by exactly 10 before. Now there are 2 more? Wow, we came just by right in time. You did. And 2 are gonna grow up someday, and I'm gonna grow up too. But that's never gonna stop us from being the same age. Cool. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Even if we're the same age, I still act older than you. Ooh, I'm not gonna be pushy-poshy about that. Even if we were the same age, you could act older than I do. You still stood there quietly. I didn't... yeah, that's great. I'll go with yeah, that's great. It seems cool. Having kids, friends your age, where you live, that seems like it'd be cool. I don't know about that. I grew up with old people. But it seems cool. It'd be really fucking cool to grow up with people my age. That seems like genuinely fucking awesome. More 10-year-olds. Wait, more 10-year-olds were better than less. But the talk you were having ended up with a clear clap from Kui, who bring it to a close. Now that we're people who know each other, I want to hear what you were doing. I lived in this town my whole life, in this neighborhood, in this house, and I've never seen either of you anywhere. There's got to be something going on. Timrick's wide, knowing gaze met yours. You understand what you had to do. Well, you reached right into your pocket and presented them with a mystery paper to Kui, knowing your own explanation. But before you even said anything, we wheezed with a tight grimace. He looked as stiff as wood tower behind him, just like that. Is he gonna be oddly racist for the first friends we have? Is he gonna say you're a poor person? Is he gonna say that? There's no way he's gonna say that. He's better say you're a neighbor. He better say you're a neighbor. You like Kui? Kui Lin seems pretty darn cool. He seems like he's got great hair. Wish I had his hair. Not gonna lie, I wish I had his hair. As somebody with a horrid hairline, I wish I had his hair. Oh, I thought he was a she. No, Kui is a male. Kui Lin is a male. It means autumn. But also, Defin, I don't know if you heard. How is your magic robot eyes now? I saw some of the stream from the VOD. I couldn't see much of it. But how is your magic robot eyes? How are they? Are you seeing the fourth wall yet? Hey, do you have the eyes of Agamotto? How are they? He stammered and babbled and pointed his finger all around the space and all sword in front of you, until the world finally came to him. A sorcerer? What does this kid think? What is going on with this kid? What? No, wait. Kui threw his hands higher towards his shoulders. Then sudden movement made sure nothing interrupted his train of thought. You're a thief. That's why you're here. To rob my house. That's right. I'm gonna steal your stuff. No, you were right before. I'm magic. I'm a sorcerer and a thief. No, I'm not a sorcerer or a thief. That makes no sense. Why do you sound so excited about that? What are you gonna do? Rob you? You don't know what to say about that? Well, why would I let you know if I was here gonna steal your things? I'm a sorcerer and a thief. That's right. I'm multi-classed. They're better. One kind of froggy. One is kind of foggy, and I gotta put drops in a lot. Thank you for asking. You basically have Makima eyes now. Let me know when the Sharingan comes in, so I know whose eyes to steal and implant in my own heads. Thank you for taking the experimental surgery to get the Sharingan with your LASIK. You didn't know about that, but that was me behind the laser the whole time. I was him. I was John Laser. Thank you for doing it. Thank you. Thank you. When your Sharingans come in, let me know. I will be there in 3 to 4 business days to go pick them up. So thank you for growing them. Thank you. I double classed though. I dual class kid. I didn't want that. Why did that happen? There we go. I'm a sorcerer and a thief. Oh, what? Do you really think I'm a sorcerer robber? He got all fluttery with his laugh and was waving his fingers. No, you're just a kid, but you got some good tricks. He tucked his hands into the side of his jacket. He moved around in there, humming the whole time. There was some kind of secret pocket in the compartment in his coat. Ah, it's just as you thought. When he removed his hand, he was grabbing onto something. It was a little notebook. The edges were bent up crumply, probably from being squished in a lot of ways and out of times. And there were papers sticking out from weird ways that were made to things that weren't even attached to the book anymore. They were just smashed between pages to keep in place. I mean, when you have an old notebook, that's kind of just what happens, because like the seams get worn, and so they'll just come out sometimes. So you just gotta use pressure again to do it, and then if you don't want to rebound it, then you gotta deal with it or something. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But the thing you noticed the most were the colors, tan and dark brown lines. Tamarick squealed, bundling closer to you. She and you had the same idea at the same time. It was the paper from the airplane. Queen flipped open the book and tapped in a slow, condescending rhythm in front of the page to the back of his knuckles, and said what you wanted to know without you having to do anything. That's my special paper with my notes on it, but it's not in my notebook. It's in your pocket. You must have done the thing, a sleight of hand, sleight of hand. Ah, that's what you did. You snatched the stuff from the blink of an eye when I was standing right here. You're a magician or a pickpocket. That's all it could be. He shifted on his feet, putting one hand on his hip and using the other to make a wiggling gesture in his notebook. With his notebook. Be really confident in his accusation against you. Could you show me how you do it? But with that weighty motivation, we had to do so much. We did too much to his own notebook. It bent over It bent up half upwards and downwards in the momentum of his own arm. Some of the paper slid out and drifted on the ground lightly, the same way leaves fell from trees. I should sit up. You stare right at them, sitting there freely like that. Queen didn't. You lost it, Kui. You're right. I don't know how that paper ended up in the woods. You're being sarcastic. Maybe you just lost a paper and that's how Tamarick found it? You know, we'll be real with the kid. We'll be real. You dropped it. Yeah. I never lose things. This Kui is so... He's such a card. I love him. I'm not gonna lie, I love him. He said that absent-mindedly. He's still not paying attention to the papers fluttered around his feet They're pretty much just waiting to be blown away by the wind at that point. There are papers on the ground right now, you know. Think you might want to look down? You never lose things? You already lost more papers. You decided to let Quee figure things out on his own. He never did. Quee's eyes wandered, lifted up the notebook over his head and twisted his feet onwards. More to fully cover, more to fairly clear his view of the grass below. Finally, he spotted the missing papers. Whoa! Thanks. In the middle of talking, he dropped to his knees, scooping up the loose papers. It only took a second for each one to be gathered. He leaned off his knees onto his butt, a little more oomph sound. From there, he got on his feet again and... Wait, he didn't just rock onto his feet? That's weird. Why would you go to your butt and then up? Against the ground while pushing up against his hands and clutching the papers. We stood again. That successful. Rescue mission done. We delicately flipped through the notebook, inserting the loose papers along the way, between different pages. He went all the way to the end. Then Quee's complete book was pressed shut once more. Hey! That really helped, Frankie. I beamed the smile directly right at your face, almost had you covering your eyes. But before that happened, he looked away. Quee twisted to the side, to better rummaging inside his hidden pocket in his jacket. He made super sure that the entire stack of papers made it in safely this time. He heard a sigh of relief. In an even, swooping move, Queen tilted his head back over his shoulder and revealed his face again. The bright expression from before was completely gone. Yeah, that's Merc again. So, did you see that? I didn't lose anything. Are you kidding? You lose stuff all the time. You just find it again sometimes. It seems like I did all the time to me. Quinn's fun with your reaction came out with a set of Snickers. He cheekily nodded and drifted away. Once again, you were done. When Quee tilted his face back towards you, he was quiet and thoughtful. This was mysterious. My paper vanished and 2 new kids appeared in my backyard all out of nowhere? I don't get it. Quinn, I'm your neighbor. I keep saying Quinn. I know it's Quee. Quee, I'm your neighbor now. I moved in the middle house on the street. Oh, the new neighbors. That's right. It's you. That makes so much sense. Except for her. His growing excitement scrunched to confusion. Quee brought a hand to his chin while so pointedly square at Temeric's. With the one and the other. I'm pretty positive there was only going to be 1 new kid moving in. Unless you're Frankie's mom. Temeric was completely tickled by the idea, giggling and covering her mouth with a hand. He didn't have a good job stopping any of the laughter from getting out. No, I'm not a mom. I'm moving with my Ami and Opa. Ami, Opa? I've never heard of that. Is that another language? It's German. They're German. Cool. Thanks. But they're already in the house here. But they already had a house here. It's the gray one. Whoa, so she's on her right and he's on her left. Whoa, there's a granny who lives there and a guy and her husband. That's your Opa? That's your Ami and Opa? I think so, probably. Ami has a really long hair. Opa has a short hair, the same. And some of it is on his face. Ami and Opa means Grammy and Grandpa. Yeah. He bobbed his head up and down with great understanding. Grammy to have kids now, huh? Wait, Grammy and him have kids now, huh? Then Quee shook his head side to side, flipping a dark brown strands of hair around, trying to sort his thoughts out. But if they're the new if you're just new neighbors, not thieves or sorcerers, how'd you know with my paper? Is this kid just daft? Is he unable to put 1 and 3 together to make 4? Is he unable to put that together? Does he think it equals 2? Does he think anything involving 1 equals 2? He has papers that are colored like this paper, and he's wondering how we think this paper is his. Gotta love our himbos. I don't know. Not for sure. Oh, I didn't know, not for sure. Why are you even showing my notes off to everyone you saw in the world? Yeah. That was kind of the idea. Huh? You knew it had been a long story if you took another huge breath. Temeric puts her fists up eagerly in her own petition to talk about what she had done. I gotta take more water. I got here today with my mommy. She's waiting for the real estate agent, so I had to spend some time doing something. I went down to the road and the paper airplane hit me in the shoulder and nobody was there. That paper was me. I threw it. I threw it and ran away. It was great. I picked it up and opened up the airplane and saw the stuff written on it. I thought the person throwing the plane was trying to give me a message. But it wasn't me who wrote it. Right. Then Franklin went into the forest after I surprised and I surprised them by jumping out into the leaves. We nodded along, probably not getting everything you two were talking about, but curious enough to just keep listening. This kid is like, So where does the talking cat come in? And we didn't say a talking cat. What was I listening to the whole time? That was probably what's going through Qui's head the entire time. I guarantee it. And then I talked to her about the paper airplane I found, and she told me what she said. Oh, and told me what we said. That she made the paper airplane but didn't write it, what was on it, and I asked her where she got it. Tamarick claimed again, your story continued, to bounce back and forth between the two of you. I found it on the ground. It was in the woods. I was it already had a note. Wait, it already had the note. But I didn't think that was important at first. Frank, it made me wonder about it. You went to discover the New World writer. And it was you. Huh? He put his hand on his hips. He thought he heard about the info he'd learned from you. You're saying it was all just random stuff for fun? I guess so. But if you're the one who wrote that, how did you know my name was on the note? What were those other words supposed to mean? Hello, go out, hide out, Frankie second? It doesn't make any sense. Oh. He cracked a smile and flicked out his arms to start his own explanation. Just stuff I was gonna do. Stuff he was gonna go outside, hide out, Frankie the second. Counting 1, 2, 3 on his fingers, Qui listed off each part of the letter separately. Hello, say hi to people around. Go out, visit the town or another neighborhood or whatever. Hideout means go to my hideout. We stopped the countdown to pat the sturdy wooden wall behind him with pride. Right here. Fine, I get it now. Wow, I like your hideout. That's all stupid, you said sharply. That's so stupid, you said amused. Your hideout is your own backyard? If that's your hideout, then why would you tell me it was a hideout? You seem alright. Yeah, no, if you have a secret hideout, don't tell people it's a secret hideout. That's how you lose its secret hideout. It's like telling people the fairy princess wish. You can't tell them about it. Fairy princess. Tooth fairy? Did I say fairy princess for tooth fairy? God, my mind is completely dried out. You seem alright. You can know about it, but don't tell anyone else. Oh, right. Yeah. For your name being there. My mom told my dad. My mom and dad told me. I talked about how new people were moving in next door and how I was going to be a kid my age, so that their name was going to be Frank Second. It was cool with me, so I wrote it down. That way I wouldn't forget. And I even took out and read the page a lot to make sure that it was something I remembered. Look, looks like I forgot after all. God, I don't know why that sentence was structured differently than what I was expecting, so I could not read it. Thanks, dyslexia. Oh, that's it? Okay then. Thanks for trying to remember anyway. I didn't even know you were confident when you're... I don't know why you're confident when you get everything wrong, you said, put off. You're such a scatterbrain, you said, put off. You said fondly. Wow, you're such a scatterbrain. Wow, thanks for trying to remember anyway. You're welcome. I'll remember this time. Definitely. But that's pretty crazy with the paper airplane. I was really impressed that you put the whole two things together. He was right. You and Tamarick had been a little... had now been able to discover the whole story. I feel like you were proud of yourself. You didn't care that much. That means you did lose the page. Out there somehow. Uh-huh. So what was that about losing things, Qui? Tamarick found the paper on the ground. Ooh, we got him there. With wrinkled brows, he shifted his hands onto the side of his head so that he could instead tug at the front of strands of his hair, pulling them out fully straight. I don't know that was possible. Are you two sure you're not sorcerers or thieves after all? Yeah. Too bad. He's so funny. You covered your ears and all the reticulate. covered your eyes and you sighed. You smirked widely. He was so adorable. You felt tired. You just ignored it. You smirked widely. We finished his pout, straightening up and putting his hands solemnly back on his hips. He was back to being in control. You know, there's nobody out here is too perfect. I accept my mistake. And I'm sorry to you, Forrest, for messing up the place. I think you're forgiven. I think it forgives you, actually. Cool. That's really nice to say, Quee. Thanks. But you realize suddenly how late it has gotten. Your mommy won't start to worry soon. That wasn't good. Returning thoughts at the pause, the Quee suddenly changes to a subject. Hey, Frankie, Derek, I'll walk you around the front. I want to hang out more. I should probably see how Omi and Oppa are. They're pretty old and need help sometimes. Yeah, we could hang up. We'll all go back together. Alright, we can. Yes, I'm gonna ask that. Okay, if you're both so sure. Sorry, I want to be myself. I'm gonna walk back with the wolves trying to eat me in the woods. Sorry, me and Timric are going together. Chica said, no, you're not in agreement. Okay, Quee. Bye, Timric. The two of us are going. No, you're staying here. Me and Timric are going on our own. Alright, we can. I was gonna ask that. Alright, we can. Relax your stance, accepting that it was really all over now. Yay! Her cheer and extra pizzazz. Wait, had extra pizzazz because she still had the stick to point in the sky. I forgot she grabbed a stick in the middle of the forest. Everyone just needs a good stick in their life. I'm sure everyone knows the meme. Boys will just see this and type hell yeah, and it's just a dude with a perfect stick. You know the stick I'm talking about. You know the sword stick, or like the blaster stick, or like the mythical shield stick. Everyone could just say hell yeah to the mystical shield stick. You go out in the woods and you find a hell yeah stick. All anyone could do is say hell yeah, brother, because it's just a cool stick. To our houses. While chuckling, we used his fist to enthusiastically punch the air and matched him expose. Homeward bound. It really is nice. We're going back as successful people. All right, you two are loud. You smiled at them in agreement. You watched the two in shy silence. Ooh, you were filled with confidence. You couldn't have been more victorious. You joined the celebration. You clapped your hands. You covered your ears. This is really nice. We're going back successful people. This is really nice. Yeah. She said, curled her hands around her mouth to make it extra loud. It's pretty cool. And so you started to walk through the yellowed full grass on the neighborhood again. But you weren't going there alone. Timuric bounded ahead, bouncing her arm up and down from the stick she was using to coordinate, using like the conductor of a marching band. Quee was alongside you, even casual steps. Returning to the house. Your new neighborhood had become even more orange-toned by the time your family returned to it. I said finally, but I'm fine with saying family because we're a new family now. The far-off sun slowly sank away behind the tallest mountains, and forests sleep in the night. The shadows grew longer, pulling away from your bodies to reach into the street ahead. Dark shape morph combined into one another as you walked in your own mismatching rhythm. All while the eyeball chillingness of the outside world got more powerful bit by bit. Timuric stayed. I still stayed about 2 steps ahead. Sometimes she was closer, sometimes she was going away from you again. She used her stick to knock the bushes and lumps along the sidewalk. He was next to you, but had switched things up so that he was walking with a larger skip backward. So that he was talking, so he's taking large skips backwards. Oh, so he's going backwards. One's looking at us, one's in front of us, and we're just there. You guessed it was to look. You guessed it was to look at you from your face better, or he just thought it was fun. He pointed out the sharpest building on the street on the west. I'm assuming the left one, because that one's pretty sharp. Because west is left, if you didn't know. Part of it looked almost like a tower. That's the houses I love. It is his. A different kind than the one in the backyard. See? That's the house in the front. It's great. And that's your house, right? The one in the middle? And Granny owns the even further one away? Cool. It sounds like your step continued to echo throughout the cul-de-sac until you come to a step right in front of the center of the path. You've arrived. Timuric put her hands up in front of her chest and waved them around. I'm going home. Timerick spun in her place before dashing further along the sidewalk to the sloped gray house on the other end of the neighborhood. Her bag clenched and jiggled at her side the whole way there. Bye. Okay, but that's it. He pulled out his angry grin. We're gonna meet up again later, huh? See ya. Water has been had. Let's go. Lee flipped around to go back the same way he had come with you. He nodded. Yeah, he needed to return to the pointy red house where the huge backyard. He didn't drop any papers this time. He waited there in front of the house in the dimming evening light, watching the other two kids go to their homes right on the same street. Bye. See you later. Be careful on your way back. Thanks for coming with me. It was cool to meet you too. You waved them goodbye. See you later. It was everything. The whole outing was done. It was a quiet resolution on your first day in this place. The two encounters you had early in the afternoon drifted throughout your head. Timerick and Kui. Hey, relationships and elements. Timerick and Kui are two leads of our life, now and forever. At the start of each step, you can choose what kind of relationship standing to share with each of them. These relationships are always mutual. For example, if you choose to have a crush on a lead, they'll have a crush on you as well. Why the hell does Kui grow up to be such a fucking twink boy that I would love to date? Look at how fucking hot Kui looks. Look at how hot Kui becomes. Look at him. I dare you to tell me that's not a stereotypical art-drawn woman. That's beautiful. Man. I wish I could grow up to be such a hot man. That's not fair. It's not fair. Your relationships can grow closer during special moments in each step. You can grow closer or even more distant between steps. If you begin dating a lead, however, you won't be able to break up with them. Wait, so are you telling me if I decide to date somebody, they can't call it off? Is this a parasitical relationship? You can only date one character at a time until chapter 4, well, step 4, where you then be able to pursue a polyamorous relationship with both leads. Timerick and Kui will never be romantically involved with each other. In this demo, there isn't yet an opportunity to date either lead. Wow, they're really just dropping the polyamorous relation right now, huh? Well, I guess when you have everything, you kind of don't need anything, right? You can also choose an expression, elements to influence how you and the other leads interact with one another. These do not have to be mutual and can be changed from the beginning in each step. Oh, we can change their personality? That seems a little bit too controlling. Kui and Timerick's expression elements towards you are fixed in step 1, but you will be influenced them in later steps by your choice or manually adjusting. Like the huh? For more detailed description of what each expression element means. Family, beloveds, friends, crushes, neighbors. Oh, so Timerick, to me, is contesting, teamworking, deferring. Oh, so we're cool. Okay, so we're praising and accepting. You to Timerick. Unassuming, teasing. Yeah, no, I like it. Okay, choose the relationship setting. I'm fine with this. Crushes. Ooh. Neighbors, friends, crushes. Friends, crushes. Friends, crushes. Friends, crushes. Family, beloveds, friends, crushes, neighbors. So neighbors are like, Friends are like, hell yeah. Crushes like, ooh. I like the crushes. Deferring, teamworking, contesting, praising, doting. Friends. Yeah, nah. For now, we're friends. We're teamworking, teasing. I like teasing him, and accepting. Things were different from where you just were in this morning when you had left and went off to the drive to move. Before then, you'd never been in the Golden Grove. You'd seen it only in pictures and hadn't known anybody that was local there yet. But there you were, a person living in town and was friends with the neighbors on both sides of your houses who lived there here. Were you friends? You thought so. Even though she wasn't there anymore, and a bunch of other things happened that day, Tamrick was the only thing on your mind. What is it like when you have your what was it like when you first saw her in the pile? When you started to think, and talk and get to know her? All that stuff on the paper airplane. She was special. The air outside kept growing, getting colder, but you were so warm on the inside. It was nice, comfortable, in that place you were. Getting even more lost in your own imagination. You wondered when you were getting to see her again. Frankie, is that you? Your mommy called out over the fence. Coming! You bounded for and passing time through the gate. Fast through the gate. Not time. Time was never a statement in those sentences. Mommy had left the porch to where you just met you. How are you? Did you find anything exciting out there? It was great. Could have been worse. I don't know. You're never gonna believe what happened. You are never gonna believe what happened. Everything was amazing. I met a girl I'm gonna marry. Oh, well, you have to introduce us soon. I was gonna say, well, I'm love it, and then I was like, nah, Yuri, I'm 100% supporting of Yuri 100% of the time. If there's ever a Yuri choice or Scooby-Doo choice, Scooby-Doo over no more choice, Yuri over Scooby-Doo choice. Yuri's forever and always. From strength to strength. Yeah, no, from strength to strength. We got the key from the house. The agent finally arrived about 20 minutes ago. He's gone now, but I haven't peeked yet. The both of us should be here for this. It's your house too. Yay! This is our house now. Absolutely. Fun. Mommy turned to go slip key and out from under her pocket sweater. She gestured with the other hand and for you to follow. Mommy led you the way as you went back up the stairs. They fit perfectly into the hole in the door. Your mommy smiled at the sound of an unlock click. Carefully, she leaned forward with her shoulder, giving a little nudge, unsure of the best option option for the best ancient door of the extra force for the moment. The house opened with a creak. Air came out through to the front was what the fuck? My dyslexia is kicking in so hard. Air came out through the front like it was exhaling. Mommy let out a breath at the same time. I bet when you're pushing open a door, you're absolutely gonna have out of air. Over there. Over here, Frankie. There's a space that got up a little closer. You can see inside here. You scooched towards your mommy's side at the doorframe. It was then you noticed that there was a mat at the front. Had a light color and kind of hard, but fleshy texture. It was a sort of mat that got dirty looking right away and when it was used, but it was still clean and nice. It hadn't been worn down at all like in the rest of the building. This part of the house wasn't just an old building left behind by the other people who didn't need it or want it anymore. Someone must have put it here for us this happening. For your mommy and you moving in. Written across the top said, "Welcome home." Mommy softly tapped the top of your shoulder, bringing you back to the moment. She kept the hand there, leading you over the head. The two of you walked in through the door. Eventually, the air was still. The wind was blocked. I was expecting something else to be said there. I don't know why, but it was particularly cold inside, as it was practically as cold inside as it was outside of the house. Mommy shifted forward curiously, feeling around for the light switch. Got it! A dim light from the ceiling sparked in an instant. In the front was an old-fashioned living room. The house had furniture that came along with it, but it wasn't set yet. Pieces were mismatched. Each chair, table, and bookshelf was a different color. Look, that's just charm. That's the stuff you get for free so you can furnish your apartment. When you don't have anything for your apartment, you're gonna fix it later, but you're not gonna fix it later because there's memories, and that's there. It's holding the stuff now. If you're gonna get something else, it's gonna fit the new stuff, and what are you gonna do with the old stuff? You're gonna have the old stuff still. So you're just gonna keep it. They were covered in transparent sheets of plastic and in dust. The room had a real fireplace made out of brick in the back, and you can see a staircase going up on the floor. Beautiful. It's even better than the photos. There's potential inside these walls. Did you buy a house without inspecting it first? That's stupid. Real estate with Drac here. I know a lot of real estate agents. One thing you should never do is buy through proxy unless you really, really trust that proxy. You should always go see the place yourself and always get an inspection, because holy can things be wrong, or they could just not fit your vibe. TED Talk with Drac done. You're so disappointed. You pull your old apartment out of the water. It was the worst house in the world. You're amazed. It could fit a whole storybook. You know what? Let's be whimsical about it. Let's be whimsical about it. Mommy was right. Yeah, I thought it'd be good, but it was somehow more than that. Your mommy touched the lips of her finger, and she muted blue pair. What? Tips of fingers to the muted blue paint next to her. Why'd she do that? Why would you kiss your finger and then the wall? That makes no sense. That's why it was so weird for me to read it. We'll have to clean as much as we can to make sure it's livable before bed. It'll be a long night. Just clean one room and sleep in that room. Deal with the rest tomorrow. There you go. Bada bam, bada boom. We can impact more things tomorrow. Though, I'll be doing much of that on my own. You're gonna be busy. Mommy increased the pitch of her voice, squinting her eyes sweetly. After all, it's the first day of 5th grade. You grinned brightly. You groaned, throwing your head back dramatically. Yeah, I'd hoped she had forgotten. You threw your hands up in the air for excitement. You covered your face, getting nervous. You grinned brightly. Let's go. We're gonna see our friends tomorrow in school? Hell yeah. She chuckled gently while watching you. You got here just in time, huh? Her eyes lifted, her eyes dipped and closed, and then increased in the brows. She seemed further away without having gone anywhere. Even if I am early for the job, it's not gonna make you be a full week late to class. Even if I am early for the job, I was not gonna make you be late for a full week to the class. Being new to a town like this is already going to make you a point of attention. You couldn't tell if she thought she was a good thing or a bad thing for its own. Molly didn't say more about it. She lifted her full circle scarf over her head. Why did my mind put full in there? She lifted her circle scarf over her head, carefully to not have it catch over her earrings, and lifted it on top of a suitcase. So, want to see upstairs? Yeah! The second floor was more of the same. Lonely sealed rooms of the furniture nobody had been using for ages were covered up by plastic sheets. And lots of dust. You could see the footprints of Mommy left behind in the grime as she wandered the halls with wide, amazed eyes. After checking the state of the whole house, Mommy made a decision to leave the furniture and its protection until after the sweeping was finished. Yeah, because else it's just going to get dusty again. There were too many dust bunnies. Might jump over the seat and the cushions if your spot was available. Help I can remember where I put that dustpan. The room itself shouldn't be hard to find. Should be connected to the dustpan, no? Should never leave each other's sides. It's like Bonnie and Clyde, Calvin and Hobbes. Drac and Cthulhu or any hot dommy goth mommy. It should be not too far from each other, one way or another. You returned to the living room after Mommy got her trusty pair of crafting scissors out of a suitcase. Put the scarf inside and taking the scissors out. I thought she was gonna go dustpan, but not scissors. Mommy then went through some of the taped up boxes, like it was a birthday. Each time was shiny, unopened present of a new ribbon on top. But her gift was just stuff she'd already owned. One by one, she took the supplies that had been bought for this very moment, sitting them around her legs on the floor whenever there was space. Then, she divided them into separate piles. A pair of yellow gloves, a fuffly fresh duster, a bottle of cleaning spray, a full roll of toilet paper, towels. Mommy had her set of her own. The other was for you. You're gonna need them. There was only one broom and dustpan that she could successfully find. You were going to take turns using it. The first move was make the house a place that could actually be lived in. The plan was yanking open the stinky windows to get something in air flowing. Oh, before even that had to get the locks of the window themselves to come loose. Before that could even be done, the windows on the locks had to become loose. There we go. You dug your fingers in between the base of the window frame. latch pressing against it, forcing it to move against its will. When the lock clinked out into the opposite side, he shoved the window up with both hands, and gloves were already pitched with filth. The icy, crisp air that flowed in from the outside was a lot more welcoming at this point. He had a good look at the neighborhood while clutching his breath. Streetlights had come on. But you then left out the window. Fuck! But you then left the window there to do its job and get back to yours. I should sit up. It's so uncomfortable to stare at it for this angle. I don't know why I cannot read any of this. The two of you went back and forth, up and down, around the house to open up everything you could. Some windows were jammed, placed in a place so tight, I had to leave it alone for Mommy to get to later. Point on to the list for somehow scrub hound all the floors, walls, counters, and every inch in space the dust could settle, which was every inch in the entire house. He picked a spot and gave it a sweep with a fuzzy hand and duster. A nice line of clear wood, followed behind your motion. Aw, you even got the spritzes. The pattern continued for a while, and whenever the dusty layer was gone from the spot, you'd go back to it again with cleaning spray and to really make it shine. Mommy was able to track down and turn on the heater. Not that you could tell the difference with how the windows were open. Eventually, you had a short dinner break with your mommy, standing around the kitchen together with two of you just as dusty as the rest of the house. It was packed meals from the car. Simply sandwiches, fruits, with thick peels that wouldn't get smashed from the drive, little bags from granola and pretzels, and juice boxes. Hell yeah, dude! Juice boxes on cleaning day? Hell yeah. There were no groceries. The freaking fridge was off and totally empty when you checked. It was a relief that there was nothing gross in there. It was disappointing that there was nothing gross in there. It was a relief that there's nothing gross in there. Look, as anybody who can go through an old fridge will tell you, it's cool until you got to deal with the smell, because the smell just stays in there. It never leaves. It never fucking leaves. It's a relief that nothing's in there. I prepared for the worst for such an old, practically abandoned house. But there wasn't a single bottle of nasty ketchup or box of unknown leftovers or anything. The trash from the food was dumped into the same giant black garbage bag that you've been throwing piles of gray stained paper towels and wads of squashed up together tape up for the whole night. Somehow, the bag was getting full, even though it was big enough to fit your whole body inside. It was a mark of how much work you've really done. Looking at the house you made, really think you haven't gotten much started. The only change that was to keep going, God, my mind kept blanking out too, as your mommy talked to, was the only way to change. Am I having a stroke? Does this sentence not make sense? The only way to change that was keep going. The only way to change that was to keep going. That doesn't make any sense. Am I the one failing at English? The only way to change that was to keep going. That seems like it has too many words in there. As your mommy talked about and encouraged herself to clean again after dinner. That first part of that sentence doesn't make sense. You and your mommy polish up the house the best you can find, even more hours. But when usual bedtime arrived, mommy put the duster and scissors down. She wasn't gonna have you stay up late, no matter how excited you were to unpack. She guided you to the first floor bathroom. The ones on the second floor were too dirty to use. Picked up her overnight bag and the counter along the way. Your mommy explained how she'd do a round throughout the whole house and close the windows to keep busy until the bathroom was free, and left you go ready to sleep. Inside the bag was a little baby-sized version of normal toothpaste, mouthwash, and containers for the simple toothbrushes. All you had for pajamas was the night was green long-sleeved shirt with matching pants. You got as clean as possibly could with only the sink to use. You did a good job washing up. Always stay clean, everybody. You don't want gangrene. You don't want athlete's foot. You don't want bad teeth. You don't want anything. You gotta always clean up. It's great, especially when you're cleaning a bunch of dusty house. You gotta get clean. Gotta get clean. After how dirty you've gotten, it was satisfying to get clean. You kept your ribbon on for bed. That ribbon's a part of my personality. And you changed your pajamas and let your mom have her own turn. When she was away, you took out your favorite stuffed animal from your packed bag. You took out your favorite action figure from your packed bag. You took out your favorite doll from your packed bag. You took out your favorite special blanket from your packed bag. You took out your special pillow from your packed bag. You could only wait for her to be done. Nah. As a grown-ass man who still has my favorite childhood blanket and favorite childhood stuffed animal, there should be a choice to combine these two. I'm going with blanket. It wasn't something you could sleep without. Furniture was still plastic wrapped and crouched down, sat on the rug. Mommy returned a couple minutes wearing her purple pajamas, so she had sleeping bags tucked under each arms. She stuffed one forward to hold against the front of her chest and dropped one onto the other. Dropped the other onto the floor and landed with a poof. That'll be mine, your mommy noted while trying to untie the band that kept the sleeping bag together in a roll. She pulled and pinched at the knot. When it didn't budge, she lifted a hand. She lifted the bundle with the face and used her teeth to pry open the threaded bands apart with each other. She got it loose and viciously flapped the bag open all the way. She laid it down and clear on the spot on the wooden floor. There you go, Frankie. All ready. Okay. You used your feet and rocked back and forth to move yourself across the antique bag. Oh, across the antique rug, not bag. Scooting towards the sleeping bag without getting off the ground. Mommy chatted casually while spreading her own bag nearby. Well, we'll need to get some wood so we can actually use that fireplace at nights like these. You have a heater. Did your mommy know how to use a fireplace? Well, you never seen one in person until now. And so far, you've never seen one that had been fire in it. Luckily, the house is warm and cozy enough without it since the windows have stopped letting in the chill. The heater worked. It was a sort of surprise for you. Mommy soon settled down in the center of a temporary bed. She sat cross-legged and the back solidly straight. Her hands come to the rest on the tops of her knees, and she made direct eye contact with you. Thank you for your help today. It'll be home before you even know it this way. It worked really hard, you said while stretching your arms. I'm so tired now, you said while flapping down. I'm so tired. I can understand that. She slouched her shoulders, easing away some of the stiffness. I gotta drink more water. Hey, mommy, guess what I did today? You hid behind the fence the entire time? No. Okay, then tell me, dear. After pausing just a little to build suspense, you began to narrate the entire story about the paper airplane adventure. From the moment it hit, to the way it led you down to the forest crossroad, finding Tamarick in her leaf pile and all her surprises, then meeting Kui on his tower and his notebook full of loose pages. Mommy listened to the whole self, with her whole self, leaning forward and grinning wider with each new turn revealed. This is a good mom. Parents should need to learn from this mom. You wrapped it up by explaining how you returned to the neighborhood with Kui and Tamarick after everything was discovered. What? Oh, way to spend your afternoon. I'm proud of you, Frankie. I had no idea you got into such a winding journey. Winding. I'm an idiot. You kicked your bags up and down your sleeping bag. Oh, in your sleeping bag. I'm very pleased with her reaction. It was a fun story to tell. Somehow, the events of today still feel like they were a long time ago. Or that they happened to someone else. You just heard about it. But it had been real. Paper airplane hit your shoulder. You held the note in your hands. And you threw the paper away when you were done cleaning. And you didn't have any idea what happened to that paper. And you were saving the paper to get back to Kui. And you were saving the paper to get back to Tamarick. You saved the paper with your things as a keepsake. Keeping it as a keepsake. And nice memories that went along with it. With your topic all done, Mommy softly soak and share her own thoughts with you. It's odd. Imagining the entire building collecting dust all this time, isn't it? No one wanted to live here. No renters. Not the man who owned it. But it's a charming house. Yeah, who says this to your kid anyway? Yeah, it is. How do we have something like this? Yeah, how do we get... sorry, I got gassy from the water. How do we get to have something like this? Mom pitched her lips together in condescension. Then she kept talking. There aren't a lot of opportunities out here in the woods, I suppose. At my company, The retiring of the former HR manager was the first big position I've ever heard of for this area. And even that didn't open up for people already living in the town. Wait, even that didn't open up for people living already in town. Yeah, so it looks like this town doesn't like this town. If you have a position in the town that isn't being filled by a person in the town, or previously already in the company, it just seems a little weird. Anyway, this is rant over. I was asked to relocate to take the position. Verses grew around her eyes, and the more she thought about it, she caught herself before it could flow. A frown could follow. Oh, but that's not an issue. I'm grateful. We'll find our place in the slow pace of Golden Grove. Where the Golden Groves are, we can become them. I'll be author today. And at least we still have each other to guard this. Yep, you, me, our team. It'd be great to have each other to talk to about stuff with. We always be together. You got me, mommy nods strongly. You yawned, not paying too much attention. Yep, nods solemnly. Thank you, Frankie. Although, wait, maybe it's not only having each other since you already found yourself a wife on your first day here. Mommy tossed her head to the side. She let out an easy, freaking breath. You were glad she hadn't forgotten. That was important news. And your mommy stretched her legs out fully across the sleeping bag, wiggling her toes inside the back of her socks and sewed on. Seeing mommy right here on the floor, it was cool. Didn't hang out together during bedtime like this most nights. It was special. As you thought about it, her eyelids were trying to tape themselves up like it was sticky, gritty stuff on your eyelids when you were extra. Alright, dear. You should get inside and You should get inside the sleeping bag now, before you blink out on top of it. You sound like a pretty good idea. Scooping into your special blanket in both your arms, shimmied into the open end of the bag. It was made out of fabric that was so smooth it wasn't difficult to do. You moved further down until the edge was to your chin. You were wrapped up like a loaf of bread in a grocery bag. Mommy got on her feet, taking a short jog over to the far end of the room. She lifted a finger, light switch, but kept her gaze down on you. The expression on her face was gentle. Good night, Frankie. Good night, Mommy. Good night. Sweet dreams. You smiled at her. You blew her a goodnight kiss. You stared at her. You rolled over on your side, turning away from her. Good night. There went pitch black with a click. Where your eyes were trying to adjust, you heard the shuffling sounds of Mommy rejoin you on the floor again. Those noises stopped. Those noises soon stopped. Mommy didn't talk anymore. There weren't sounds of cars passing outside. There weren't thumping in your ears. And you thought you might have heard a creak somewhere. The night noises were a lot different than what you have expected with. So quiet and distant. It made you notice. There are more than if they were closer. There are more and they were clearer. You had to get to know the sounds better. It was another part of the house's personality. You weren't okay with that. Oh, you were okay with that. It was normal need time to get familiar with each other. Rest your eyes shut. In your hand, thoughts of... Ooh, moving to a new town, Mommy, Queen, and Tamarick. Your first day at school. Tamarick! Tamarick! We need that Yuri! We need that fluffy go fluff Yuri! Muffle Yuri! You fell into a deep, comfy dream that felt like an instant. It was like the best kind of sleep. Yep, that was well earned after a good day. Then, your second day in Golden Grove arrived. Chapter, outfits, and dressed up. During the game, occasionally you will get an opportunity to change what you're wearing. You may be able to take off accessories or get outer layers during some moments. If you don't want to bother changing the outfit, you can toggle these sections on from your detail screen. Click info on the right side of the screen. Include your subsection, sure. With that being said, right click, save. With that being said, I think I'm going to end this here. I'm still in section 1, and there is 2, and I'm 2 hours in. So with that being said, I'm going to end this here. If you made it this far, I'll be seeing you next time. Thanks for coming. I guess I don't see you everyone. I'm doing whatever you're doing. I guess I don't see you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.